How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a new person here. She can say her name, what she does, and all that jazz.
Hi everyone, my name is Paloma O'Leary. I'm 16 years old and I go to the Madeira School and I write music. I write pop music, pop and with a Latin twist as well. I'm Colombian American, so I always
Awesome.
like to add some Spanish into my music if I can.
There we go. Well, Paloma, the first question is, obviously, how did you start out? Have you come from a musical family? How did the beginnings of, you starting to like write your own music, did it just kind of start from childhood, or give me the lowdown?
Yeah, of course. So my great grandmother was really well known for singing. She
Oh,
loved
very
to
cool.
sing, and she would always sing with my mom, and that's a really dear memory of that my mom has of her. And my mom also did a lot of singing as well when she
Oh,
was
cool.
younger. She loved musical theater, and so I think I sort of get that from her. Um, but so I always loved to sing,
Hmm.
like any little kid, but I was especially into it. And like wherever we went, I would always be singing. Like in the car, I would learn the songs like really fast, and I would just be belting out. And so then my mom asked me if I wanted to start doing lessons,
Oh, cool.
and I did. And I realized it was something that I was really passionate about. And my mom has a Spanish academy, so they do Spanish lessons for younger kids
Oh,
and
cool.
also for adults. It's called Isabel and Ferdinand. It's based in DC. And so when they were first starting out, they released an album, and I was asked to do like a couple solos and be part of some of the recordings.
Yeah.
And when I was just in the studio, I just knew that it felt right, and that it was what I ultimately wanted to do.
That's awesome, and obviously continuing the legacy of what your mom and your grandmother carried
Mhm.
on. That's really cool. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, you said try to incorporate like some Spanish into your music as well. Um, when did you feel like that was something you wanted to incorporate into your pop style of music? Because I had a chance to listen to some of the songs, and it was really cool to hear kind of the again the pop sort of style of music, but then also obviously having the Spanish roots and stuff, along with obviously you singing in English. Was that always something that you wanted to do, or did you just it just felt natural and you just kind of went with it?
Yeah, so I love my Colombian heritage. I'm so proud of it, and I just wanted to incorporate it in some sort of way. So when I realized that I could use Spanish in my songs, like I was like, yes, this is what I should do. And so I have been influenced by Shakira. She's
Hmm.
a yeah, everyone knows Shakira, of
Of
course.
course, yeah.
And she has some songs that are like in Spanish but also in English,
Hmm.
and I definitely wanted to tap into that. And she's just been a huge inspiration to me, being Colombian. And yeah, so I think that's sort of where I got the inspiration. My first song that I released, Frenemy, has the Spanish and the English
Hmm.
in it, so it's like a bilingual song. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, it was cool for me to kind of listen to it, and hear both the Spanish side of like how
Mhm.
you sing, and then also like the English side. And I figured I'd just point it out for people
Mhm.
who maybe aren't familiar with your music. To me, that was like something, as both being Korean and American as
Mhm.
well. Like it's cool to see someone really taking their heritage and obviously putting it towards their music and stuff. So obviously, I hope that you continue doing that, because it was something that I thought was like, I was like, Paloma really was doing something different with that, and I think it really worked with. Again, I kind of got that whole like Shakira kind of like vibe
Mhm.
to your music, so I was like, okay, she's kind of continuing on in that sort of mindset. So, it was very neat. In terms of, I guess, obviously you said you write pop music. Was and obviously incorporating your heritage in it, did
Mhm.
pop in like that Spanish style of like music? Did that just kind of inspire you to kind of go in that sort of pop direction, or were there other kind of things that you were like, oh, maybe I could do like some Spanish songs, like more in
Mhm.
that lane, or did you kind of want to find that nice balance between like traditional pop music and then also just Spanish music?
Yeah, so I've always loved pop music, but I've also always loved Latin pop, so I wanted to combine the two and create something that I was really happy and proud of. And so I'm just so glad I got the opportunity to do that, and I'm glad I was able to come up with something like that. But I almost always start off by writing in English.
Hmm.
But sometimes it'll be in Spanish. You just never know. It's just songs just sort of come to you sometimes, and so I just write it down when they do. But sometimes if I'm feeling sad, I'll write like a sad song or
Sure.
something. So there's a big range of how my songs sound. But I usually gravitate more towards Latin pop, that kind
Yeah,
of
because
music.
I feel like Latin pop, like for people who aren't familiar, it seems like
Mhm.
totally different. And then for people who obviously are in pop music and kind of like hear that sound, it is also, way different than Latin pop. And I like that there was some like, I'll obviously have heard some Latin pop tracks before, and it was
Mhm.
cool to hear kind of that sound, but then also kind of like it kind of felt like a switch almost where like you could hear
Mhm.
the Latin style when like the Spanish was singing, and then you have that kind of Latin pop sort of flair to your music, and then once you get into the English, then you can kind of hear like the more modern pop that you're inspired by. So I thought that was really interesting, and obviously as you go further, I'm sure the ideas will expand a little bit more. But Paloma, who are you influenced by, not only in the sort of Latin pop realm, but also in like more modern, like American pop musics?
Yeah, so a big one for me is Olivia Rodrigo. She is fairly recent
Hmm.
as like she's always sort of been in the media, but now like it's her music that she's known for. Like I know she was in the TV show, I think it was called Bizarre. But she wasn't, and she was also in the High School Musical series on
Okay.
Disney Plus, and that's sort of where her music journey began. She came out with that song called All I Want, and that was like my favorite song when it came out. And I just loved how she wrote the song and like the sound of the song. And then when her album Sour came out, I was just so excited and so inspired. And I was like, this is the kind of sound that I want to have.
Sure.
Um, and I just think she's such an amazing artist. And also Taylor Swift, of course. My sister and I are huge Swifties, always have been. Um, I just really like how she's authentic to herself and she's not
Sure.
afraid to put out what she's feeling, regardless of what people might say. And she just sort of blocks out that backlash that she gets from the public. And I really just love her as a person and as an artist.
Yeah, like I can definitely see kind of like the influence of like Taylor Swift and like Olivia Rodrigo and Shakira kind of like all getting thrown into a blender, and I feel like that's the sound that I heard from Frenemies and stuff like that from what I listened to thus far. And I was like, okay, I was like, I can see like there's obviously being 16, and like I feel like you have a lot of growth to be had, but the starting point right now is like really cool. And I just feel like over the years I'm gonna be able to kind of like look back and be like, she was so great then, and then just to kind of see you go further and obviously expand your talent. It's very exciting. So obviously, best of luck in the future endeavors there. But I definitely feel like you pull from a lot of different backgrounds and stuff, so that's really cool. But how has the response been for Frenemies? I mean, I feel like that one's the most recent one that I listened to. Not only from like your family, but also people that have listened to the track. Like, how do you feel like the reception's been? Like, were they shocked at kind of like the song, or have you been kind of like like teasing it to like family and friends that it's like, oh my god, it's finally out, this is great?
Well, yeah, so I just posted it on my Instagram. I had
Mhm.
a music account, and then it was kind of a hit. Like, I was not expecting to get as many streams as I did. It I mean, in retrospect, it's not a lot, but I mean, I think it's about 25,000 streams.
That's great.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to happen. So yeah, I shared it with family, with friends, and I think it just sort of grew from there. Like, my friends would share it to their friends, and like so on and so on. But yeah.
That's awesome. And how does, I feel like your friends, like I know for me, like for example, I like grew up with a bunch of people that like played in bands and stuff like that. So I've always like felt that sort of like secondary, like, oh my god, that's so awesome, like keep doing your thing. Like how do your friends feel about you like making music and writing music? I mean, obviously I feel like they're gonna be supportive of it, but like do they ever come to that like realization that they're like, oh my god, Paloma, she's like, you know, that song had like 25,000 like streams on it. Like they must feel like super excited for you, you know, certainly.
Yeah. No, my friends are always super supportive of like my music, and they think it's so cool. Um, I mean, I would not be able to like write music without such a strong foundation of friends. Because it can be hard. Like,
Yeah.
you're putting yourself out there and you're expressing yourself. It's scary because you don't know how people are going to react. You don't know who's going to say what. And I just think it's so important to have those friends that you can really confide in and lean on, um, because it's might be difficult if you don't have that.
Yeah, no, certainly. So shout outs to Paloma's friends. That's awesome. Obviously continue to support her, and guys, go check out Frenemies. I'll leave a link in the description to go check it out. But um Paloma, obviously, since you're new here on the channel, and for people who haven't checked out your music, um you know, what would be one song you'd want them to check out to kind of get an idea of your music, like your sound, stuff like that? The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is Frenemies, but I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure you might have other songs out, you know.
Yeah.
So which one would you recommend to like new fans to listen to?
So I just released a single called Ocean Away.
Very cool.
Um, yeah, so it also has Spanish and English in it. Um, and it's sort of a song about relationships and sort of feeling betrayed. And even if someone is nearby you, like, you can still feel that sort of emotional distance
Sure. Yeah.
that is caused when there's sort of a disconnect. Um, but it's a really fun song. I worked on it with the producer Ali Stone, um, and she's just so amazing. She's also Latina. She's Colombian, and I'm just so lucky to have been able to work with her. And I also have an EP coming out soon, this month. So
Very
everyone's
cool.
looking for that. Yeah.
And how does that feel like, right, obviously working with your producer and her also being a Latina, like,
Mhm.
you know, was that something that you were like seeking out, like to record your music? Or because I know, like, I imagine it must be tough to try to find people that, especially
Oh,
maybe might in the DC area, it might be a little bit difficult to find those people that, you know, kind of cultivate that sort of like Latina and like Latin sound. So how crucial was it to find someone that understood what you were trying to like get out in the EP?
yeah. So I think it was when I was 12, the Playing for Change Foundation reached out to me, and I became a youth ambassador for them.
Oh, very cool.
And I worked with Ali on a song they asked me to do, but I also had met Ali a couple years before because my sister was doing an LLS soiree, and
Okay.
she was the DJ there. Um, but she also produced songs, so it was really cool because I did some songs with her. I didn't release them, but it was just sort of fun to work on them
Sure.
with
Yeah.
her. And so I really liked the style of how she did it. And she's based in LA.
Oh,
So
cool.
she's not in DC, but Yeah, so I really liked the sound of her music. I liked that she had that Latino feel, and so I asked if she could work with me, and we got to work on this project together, this EP and Ocean Away, and it's just everything I wanted and more. And I think it was kind of a process because I had to get equipment.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually recorded in my room the whole thing.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I didn't go to a studio, and so then I recorded in my room, and then I would just send the files over to her, the tracks,
Hmm.
me singing, and then she would master them, and it just came together really well, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out.
Awesome. Well, big shout outs to Allie. That's really cool and awesome of her to do that. And I like the production on it was super awesome. So like just to know that it was like recorded like kind of almost in like kind of like a Billie Eilish way where it was just recorded in a bedroom. I think
Mhm.
that's really cool, and I think it also kind of shows the power of like the internet, and also just kind of like you can write songs anywhere, and I think that's
Yeah.
like one of the coolest things. So I'm glad I'm glad that it turned out very well. Thus, the songs that I've listened to thus far have been like super sick. So I'm excited to listen to the rest of it. Um, Obviously, you kind of, or not kind of, you did allude to the EP coming out at the end of the month. How does that feel for you to
Mhm.
finally have that release? Like I imagine you recorded a lot of this during like the pandemic and stuff. So like how was that process of kind of like not only working through like the music but the lyricism, and kind of like
Mhm.
finally having it come out by the end of this month? Like I imagine that must be a really relieving feeling.
Mhm. So, yeah, I had these songs basically done at in May, early June of last year.
Wow. Yeah.
And I did not expect it to go this far. Like, they were just songs that I wrote, and, I wanted to go along with the theme of water because,
Oh, cool.
um, I'm really passionate about, marine biology and, water conservation. Um and I wanted to sort of raise awareness about pollution and conserving the ocean.
Very cool.
So that's sort of where I went with this. I had these songs and I sort of tweaked them so they would all fit under that. So every song mentions water in some sort of way. So it's really exciting to see that it's now all recorded and done because this was an extremely long process that is finally done.
That's awesome. Well, obviously, best of luck. I'll check it out once it releases, of course.
Honestly.
Very excited to give it like a full listen. But um, the next question, Paloma, who are you listening to currently? What's on your day to day like listening like vibes right now?
Yeah, well, I love Frank Ocean.
Ooh, all
He's
right,
really cool. Olivia Rodrigo, of course. Um,
got it.
and I sort of I listen to a bunch of different music. I oh Kanye West.
Oh, nice.
Um, what else? Oh, there's an artist called PLK.
Okay.
Um, there's one of his songs that I really like right now. It's in French. It's called Attentat, which means like attack. It's such a cool song. Um, it's got sort of like a flamenco guitar, which I
Oh,
really liked.
very
So,
cool.
um, and oh, there's also I see, I listen to a bunch of different um, and then one of my favorite songs right now is called, it's by Aitana and Zoilo. I can't remember what it's called. Um, I'll have to get back to you on that
Yeah,
one. But
email me. I'll throw it
yeah.
in. I'm I can't guarantee that the Spanish will be correct on the screen, but I'll try. I'll try certainly try. But yeah, that's very cool. Those are some really good ones. The Frank Ocean one spoke to me. Big Frank Ocean fan.
Oh, yeah.
Love his. I always love his stuff. So I could, that was someone I didn't really think of. But
Mhm.
now that I'm kind of like remembering listening to Frenemies, I'm like, okay, Like, is there some Frank Ocean in there? Probably.
Mhm.
So, very cool, Paloma. The next question, a fun one. If you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Oh, um, probably an Adele song. She's
Ooh,
also been a big influence for me.
okay.
I've always loved singing her songs. Or Amy Winehouse, Valerie.
Ooh,
That
ooh,
one's a good. Yeah.
that'd be my vote. Amy Winehouse is such a powerhouse, so I feel
Mhm.
like you could. I feel like you could put a good spin on it. I'd like to hear that. So, not that my opinion matters or anything, but that would be a very cool one. So, guys, if you want to hear Amy Winehouse or another cover from Paloma, drop them in the comments. Maybe she'll wind up checking it out, and who knows? Maybe there might be a cover song coming out to you guys soon. So.
Maybe.
The next question, Paloma, another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, there's just so many. I love Mediterranean food. Um,
Oh, all right.
Kava is probably my go-to on Postmates.
All right. All right.
And my favorite like sort of snack is it's called pan de bono. It's like a little Colombian cheese bread, and it's so good.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
I would love to try some Colombian cuisine.
Oh my gosh,
I'm all
it's the
about trying that stuff. So I'll have to look up a recipe now. That
yeah.
I do a lot of cooking in my spare time, so I'll have to see if I can find a good one. Or if your
Mhm.
mom has a good recipe, feel free to
Oh, of
email it
course.
over.
Yeah.
Next question, Paloma. Getting back to the music stuff, if there
Mhm.
was somebody that you would like to collaborate with in the future, who would it be?
Um, I mean, I I'm just so inspired by Olivia Rodrigo again and Taylor Swift. Like that would literally be a dream come true if I could work with Taylor Swift. Cuz her music is just it is so relatable,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
that's sort of what I want to have with my music. Like I just want it to be relatable for the people around my age, because right now, as you were saying, it's like a time of sort of finding yourself, a time of growth. And
Yeah.
I hope that with my music, I can sort of help people my age through that process.
And that's a good. I mean, that's a good ideology to have, certainly. And I feel like, I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, but I feel like you are certainly moving in that direction. So um, I feel like that's a good choice. Like, definitely, kind of, I could see the similar arc that you would carry with, like similarly to Taylor Swift. So I could get down with that answer. But guys, if you want to see Paloma collab with Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo, just tag them in a post together. I'm sure some sort of like manifestation will happen. That's what I believe. So
Cross.
it could happen. But the next question, Paloma. Obviously, you sing, but if there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
Oh, I think either the piano or guitar.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
I'd taken piano lessons when I was younger, quite frequently, but then I just sort of stopped. I don't know. But I definitely would like to start that up again. Because I just admire people who can play piano so much, because it's so beautiful, and it also could help me with songwriting as well. So I hope I can eventually get to that.
We'll have to find out next time we have you on here. We'll have to see how well you're learning the piano by that point. But
Absolutely.
that's great. I like that answer. As I mean, obviously, I'm sure you don't wouldn't know that, but I play guitar, so I feel like I
Oh,
had a little bit of a strong connection with the guitar choice, but
oh yeah.
I'm glad with the piano pick. So I'm obviously best of luck with the piano if you decide to take that challenge on. Certainly, uh, I did when I was younger, and obviously it did not pan out well. So now I'm on guitar. So, um, but the next question, Paloma, if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including yourself,
Mhm.
who would you want to be on the tour?
So, like a tour with my music, or
Yeah, it would be a tour with your music, and
uh-huh.
then just people that you would love to tour with.
Oh, um, I think like artists, like
Yeah.
well-known artists today.
Y-
Yeah, I think like of course Frank Ocean. He just seems like such a cool guy. Oh, Tyler the Creator. He's such
Oh, all right.
and I love his music as well. Um, and probably Shakira.
Ooh, all right. That sounds like a fun tour. If I, if I had to lay it down, I feel like that'd be a cool one. Guys, if you want to make that happen, listen. I'm just gonna leave it there. You can choose your own devices on that one. Next question, Paloma. In terms of the artists that you've seen live, who do you think puts on a really great live performance?
Oh my gosh. Well, I saw Billie Eilish a
Oh, very
couple
cool.
years ago,
Okay.
and she was just incredible. It was when she was first getting big,
Hmm.
and her set was incredible, and like her energy was so great, and she really made an effort to connect with the audience, which I feel like a lot of people don't do. And it didn't feel like it just felt like we were all there together. Like it didn't feel like I don't know. She was just really good at communicating with the audience and just making us feel all comfortable. And she was just so great. It was such a fun night.
It made you feel like you were like a part of like a
Yeah,
family kind of a thing. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a great feeling. Like, and
Mhm.
to have like, obviously to know that an artist of that like popularity still really cares about the
Oh yeah.
um the interpersonal connections of other
Mhm.
people at shows, like that's wonderful. So good to hear. Good to hear that, Billie Eilish is doing that sort of stuff. But um the next question, Paloma, what is your favorite TV show and favorite movie?
Well, currently I'm watching Gilmore Girls.
Ah, very nice.
I love Gossip Girl. That's a classic. And I think Elite, is a Spanish one.
Okay.
For my favorite movie, I think maybe Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, okay, a classic movie. All right, all right,
Mhm.
that's good. I like that. Did you watch that like growing up with your like mom or yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I assumed as
My
much.
mom, yeah, my mom always she compares me to Audrey Hepburn a lot. She's like, "Oh, you're such an Audrey Hepburn." I don't know. Yeah, ever since I was little. And so then we watched her movie and I just thought it was such a great movie. I think she's a great actress. I love all of her movies. Like My Fair Lady was also really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
your mom's really hitting you with the classic movies.
Oh
I
yeah, no.
appreciate I appreciate that.
She is in charge of the movies and sometimes we complain. We're like, "Ugh, we don't want to watch an old movie. Like we do family movie nights, and then she's like, nope, we're watching this movie, and then we're like, no, like let's watch something else, like something more recent, and then it always ends up being really good. And yeah, my parents are very good with their movies, so
That's awesome. Well, shout outs to them. They have some. I remember going to my grandparents as a kid, and they would just put like Gone with the Wind or like
mm,
Casablanca or some really old some old movies. So I have a lot of.
I love old classic movies like Sound of Music.
Oh,
Um,
yes,
Yeah. Oh, we
it's
did. We were. I won't say forced, but we were told to watch Gone with the Wind.
I mean,
Yeah, but
these
it
are
was
classic
really
movies.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, shout outs to classic movies. Go check them out. I mean, I don't think I have to tell you any more than that. But the next question, Paloma, if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
Oh, Channel Orange, I think,
Ooh, okay, okay.
or Sour.
Ooh, all right. Keeping with the Frank Ocean. I like
Oh
that
yeah.
choice. I like that. And obviously Paloma, with the album coming out, by the time this video comes out, it'll be probably pretty close to the release. What can people kind of expect coming up on the album? In terms of like sounds, do you feel like you've because with the stuff that you have out currently is really great. Do you feel like some of the other songs that aren't released now are like a little bit more like out of the box or like a little bit more interesting? Like, can you give people an idea of what they might expect coming up with a new record?
Well, yeah, it is a really similar sound to Ocean Away. Ocean
Okay.
Away is going to be part of the EP. But it's all surrounded around water. And just since water is just such a powerful force, I really wanted to use it, and I figured that it could work really well. This EP is about relationships that go wrong, like friendships that go wrong,
Hmm.
and just sort of coping with that. But it also is about conservation of the environment and of the ocean. So it's like a mixture of the two.
Certainly. And I hope that I don't know if this is a thought process of yours, but it would be interesting if the preceding records would be a part of like the elements like fire, water, air.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh
like
my
that'd be
God.
kind of I feel like that'd be kind of interesting, just getting
That'd be
just giving you a few ideas in the noggin, while they still work. So,
oh, yeah.
the last thing, Paloma, thank you for coming on. First of all, I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody goes checks out Paloma's music, all in the description. But where can people find you at on social media? What do you have coming up, in the foreseeable future, and anything else you want to plug, talk about, things of that nature?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, and all my music is on Spotify, as well as Apple Music and iTunes. I have a YouTube channel with all my music videos. All my songs have music videos with them, and so some of those will be coming out soon. And I also, yeah, I think it's on like several different music platforms, but those are the main ones I can think of. Yeah, so the EP will be on there.
There we go. Well, go check out Paloma. All of the links will be in the description. I want to give a huge shout to Erica at Muddy Paw. She's always got some really great artists for me to talk to, so it's always much appreciated to speak with whoever she asks, whoever she requests to come on. It's really cool, and obviously I'm excited to see Paloma's growth as an artist. So if you're as excited as I am, check the links in the description. Go follow Paloma, find out when she's releasing the record, and obviously I'm very excited to go give it a listen, so you should too. If you enjoyed this interview, please share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. And Paloma, thank you for coming on, thank you for chatting, and obviously best of luck with the new EP to come out.
Thank you so much. It was so good talking to you.
No problem.